What? What? What the shock? Did I just say what the shock? Miguel is totally rub off on me. Miguel over here. Hey guys, Mr.Catface here, but now you know the gist. Every 3 Wednesdays, Death Battle comes out. Death Battle, Optimus Prime vs. Gundam. Let's do this. No wasting time. Just I'm Team Optimus Prime doesn't mean he's gonna win. The battle's gonna be made in the 4-wheel engine. It's gonna look great. 3, 2, 1. I didn't have 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, boy. All right, let's do this giant robot fight.
Across this vast world of different nations with
high
different
quality
people,
H2O.
it is the clash of opinions which truly divides us. However, there is one universal truth which absolutely everyone can agree on.
Giant robots are freaking awesome! Like Optimus Prime, the original G1 Transformer.
And the RX-78-2, the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
These aren't just any robots, they're the old school classics, the first of their kind, and we're in for a robo battle of East versus West.
Well, Optimus was originally a Japanese toy.
He's Whiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who will win a death battle.
See, doesn't it look pretty? Pretty.
Millions of years ago, on a distant planet called Cybertron, a great unrest grew between two factions of robotic beings, the Decepticons and the Autobots. With little warning, they found themselves entangled in civil war.
Led by that douchebag Megatron, the Decepticons started gunning down anybody they pleased for basically no reason, including some guy named Orion Pax, which will be important later.
They're trying to kill him.
Rest in peace, Robro.
What Megatron didn't know was that this seemingly random encounter would end up reshaping the universe.
Thanks to a robot Gandalf, Orion Pax was rebuilt into something bigger, stronger, and way more recognizable.
The newest commander of the Autobots had risen, Optimus Prime.
Mentioned,
Autobots will never sacrifice freedom.
Optimus is a powerful warrior with tons
I don't know that much about Transformers.
Power.
I like it.
As a Transformer, he can scan nearby objects and morph his body to resemble one, becoming a robot in disguise.
His favorite is a classic 1979 Kenworth K100 tractor. An oldie but a goodie with sports 500 horsepower
more
and
than
can
9
book
million.
It over 80 miles per hour. He even gets a trailer, which, when he doesn't need it, mysteriously disappears into thin air. No, really, where the hell does that thing go? I need to know.
More importantly, the life force of every Transformer resides in their spark, sort of like a soul. And Optimus
back
is
to
no
base,
different, except that his spark gives him a few unique abilities.
Yeah, his spark's pretty rare. Compared to other robo people, it gives him increased strength, speed, and durability. He can shoot laser beams from his hands, fly with either a jetpack or his feet boosters, and move his limbs around while they're detached like some sort of ghost robot Rayman.
Ghost robot
Optimus is
Rayman.
referred to as a 0.1%er. That is how rare a being of his caliber is.
Is that what all those people on Wall Street were protesting?
Even then, many of Optimus's abilities are further enhanced thanks to his possession of one of the most powerful artifacts in Cybertron's history.
The Matrix?
The Matrix of leadership.
Oh yeah, you know, it's nothing much. It's just a piece of robot god.
The Matrix is a conduit for the power of Primus, the creator of the Transformer race. With this, Optimus can heal some of his most grievous wounds.
What? Not all the time. Like, you know, when he died.
And use the power of the Matrix to light our darkest hour.
Well, he has an impressive arsenal to hopefully keep that particular problem from coming up again.
Sad tears.
Yeah, never again. Regardless, he wields the Ion Blaster, a giant death cannon which Prime one-hands like a boss. This big old rifle fires bolts of energy strong enough to take down most Decepticons, and can even be fired into space from ground level. Even better, it never seems to run out of ammo. One can only dream.
Optimus Prime also carries numerous weapons composed of energon, a raw energy force used by Transformers to power their technology and, well, themselves.
He's got a glowy energon axe and energon swords, perfect for slicing up robots of all sizes. I guess they probably work pretty good on people, too.
Fighting fire with fire, Optimus Prime led the fight against the Decepticons for several millennia. Eventually, the war even found its way to our own Earth.
But we've got nothing to worry about with Optimus protecting the planet. He's tanked blasts that would tear other bots apart. Like when this mega refinery exploded. It could be seen from outer space.
Boom. Dead.
He's punched the ground so hard, the trees around him freaking exploded.
Child's play, Boomstick. He's strong enough to tip this large oil tanker, which, when compared to the real-life Sea-Wise giant, must weigh over 700,000 tons.
But that's in the water,
He's
wouldn't that make it
easier? He's tossed a satellite into orbit and punched hard enough to crack 6 shots chest plate.
Who boasted that his armor was drawn from the compacted subatomic matter of a collapsed star. Just to let you know, such a star would have a density of over 300 billion tons per cubic inch. While great density doesn't necessarily beget great toughness, this still means 6 Shot's armor was 500 billion times more dense than osmium, the most dense natural material on Earth.
You're the most dense natural material
get
on
over
Earth.
here.
What'd you say?
And our robo-commander wrecked it. He's fast enough to catch up to this Decepticon space shuttle in just 23 seconds.
Oh, it's a
Given the size of the Earth here and the angle of ascent,
2099.
we can determine he's moving around 125,000 miles per hour. He's also a talented leader, capable of commanding 1,000 battles at the same time via the Omniglobe.
Like Skynet, but in a giant disco
Again,
ball.
with the shot.
He's used that crazy strength of his to punch through Megatron, who once tanked an explosion big enough to knock Cybertron out of orbit. And thanks to the weird robo-magic of the Matrix, he's even defeated Unicorn.
Unicron.
Who's basically a giant robot
Which is
Satan who
probably
eats
going to be
planets.
Battle 100.
This guy is unstoppable.
Not necessarily.
Unicron versus
Optimus is
Galactus.
certainly powerful, but after all is said and done, he has one major weakness.
To violate that law would destroy our honor.
He's just too nice.
Yeah, he's kinda all about the whole honor and fair fighting thing, which kinda screwed him over more than once, and even gotten him killed multiple times. Plus, he killed himself once just because he accidentally broke the rules in a frickin' game. Damn.
But when his back is to the wall and all hell's breaking loose, he'll fight to the end, riding the eye of the storm.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Something just fly past me?
In the year 2179, humanity has embraced the stars.
2179.
Mostly.
Right. After a somewhat united humanity expanded across the solar system, the ideologies between those on Earth and those in space began to drift apart. A new space-noid republic, the Principality of Xeon, arose to challenge the Earth Federation.
Space
I have no
Noid?
beard.
That like the Domino's pizza
Yes,
mascot?
the
but in
Noid.
space?
No, more like space Nazis.
Border pizza. I want pizza
Well,
though.
I guess it's no surprise that they started a war
Space Nazi
by
pizza?
gassing a populated space colony and dropping the whole thing on the planet. Man, that's messed up. But that's just how it started. For the real star of the show, some smart guys put their heads together and came up with the coolest thing they could think of. Giant fighting robots.
Giant flying
These
robots.
were mobile
Fighting.
suits, and
Giant
one of
flying
Earth's
fighting
nuttier engineers had developed a suit which would put all others to shame. This was the RX-78-2, otherwise known
The
as the Gundam.
Yeah, boy.
There have been lots of mobile suits
Well,
named
hundreds of
Gundam,
Gundams,
but
was
this
100.
was the original granddaddy of them all.
Alright.
This experimental mobile suit was hidden
That's
on
a
a
lot,
remote
Gundam.
colony. But before its maiden voyage with the equally classified White Base could begin, it was caught in a surprise Xeon attack.
With just 2 Zaku suits, the space Nazis wiped out almost all of the White Base's military crew. The only people left to save these secret projects were civilians, who had no idea these things even existed.
Among those who rose up was a young boy named Amuro Ray. Brilliant, albeit standoffish, Amuro was actually the son of the Gundam's chief engineer, and had already stumbled upon the mech's coded blueprints.
So he grabbed the owner's manual, jumped in the Gundam, and flew into the fight. Damn, not too shabby for going off just the manual.
Amuro quickly adapted
Just
to
get
its
inside
complex
this
controls
giant
thanks to
robot,
its
just
learning computer
dicey
system,
and dicey.
designed so
I
the
get it.
Gundam itself can learn its pilot's limitations and compensate.
Its body is made of a super durable Luna titanium alloy called Gundarium. Of course.
Yet another fictional metal that's way better than anything in real life.
For weapons, it's got twin 60mm Vulcan guns for ears. It's got a shield that can block shots strong enough to take down warships, and a gravity hammer, a supersized flail that's rocket-propelled. Whoever came up with that is my goddamn hero. Same with the guy who built the
He's my
ultra-destructive
dad.
beam rifle.
That would be...
Are you joking? Are you joking? Another ad? Alright. 3, 2, 1, go!
the ingenious Dr. Minovsky.
About 10
Thanks to
minutes.
him, the beam rifle is a marvelous feat of weapons engineering. Minovsky had developed a way to miniaturize the enormous megaparticle cannons found on warships without losing
This
any power.
background music
The
kind of
result
sounds
is a
like Dr. Doom's
Gundam-sized
theme.
rifle that can take
It's
down
not, but it
entire
kinda sounds
fleets
like
of
it.
ships all on its own. It's like having a pistol with all the power of 1,000 tanks.
A single shot could easily tear through a 13,000-ton Musai-class warship. Given the official stats of this ship, to tear it asunder like so would require a strike worth nearly 9,000 tons of TNT.
Sure, the beam rifle only has 16 shots, but who really cares when you just need one?
Last but not least, the Gundam carries 2 retractable beam sabers.
Cause you can't have space battles without royalty-free lightsabers.
Without
But all
lasers.
these amazing weapons would be useless without an exceptional pilot. Despite still technically being a civilian, Amuro became the main pilot for the Gundam. Turns out, his skill was mostly thanks to his previously unknown abilities. Amuro was a new type.
Like, Pokemon?
See, apparently humankind was never
Yeah.
meant to live under
He's science
gravity's
type.
pull. In space, without it literally weighing down their souls, some humans developed psychic powers.
That is the dumbest backstory
Oh.
for why someone gets powers. And we've heard a lot of them, Wiz. So what, he can like read minds or
That's not
something?
the dumbest one.
Sort of. These powers and their capabilities have little definition, often differing between different people. Most new types can instantly understand each other upon
Lasts
contact,
for
even
4
drawing
hours.
kinship
Please
between
consult.
sworn enemies. Amuro's abilities in particular grant him something akin to precognition. He can predict exactly what will happen on the battlefield and where his enemies will be, and can capitalize on it if he reacts fast enough.
How could he possibly predict I'd attack from the other side?
Cause he's a psychic.
He shot down targets too fast for the eye to see and navigated his friends through a collapsing fortress with no
Definitely.
casualties. By the end of the war,
Definitely.
his own reflexes were pushing the limits of the Gundam itself.
A magnetic coating was added to the Gundam to compensate, reducing the suit's friction and increasing its speed by 27%.
Over 14 years of military service, Amuro became a legendary pilot. He even learned how to use these super fast funnel guns with his psycho powers.
Speaking of speed, the Gundam is comparable to the red Zaku piloted by Amuro's rival Char, which is 3 times faster than the standard green model.
During the first large-scale battle with mobile suits, a Zaku flew through the battlefield in 7 seconds.
By comparing the 1,072-foot-long Magellan-class starships in the distance, we can tell the Zaku flew over 7 miles. This puts the standard Zaku's top speed just under Mach 5. When tripled to compare to Char, this means the Gundam can move at least 11,000 miles per hour, 15 times the speed of sound. Highballing it with Amuro's new type powers and magnetic coating, it's possible the Gundam can move as fast as Mach 25. Though anything over that would put it dangerously close to re-entry speeds, which its chassis cannot survive on its own.
The Gundam is strong enough to lift and throw this goofy mobile suit, and tough enough to power through a magnetic field that's 7,200 degrees Fahrenheit. It survived plenty of really big explosions, including a detonating asteroid and a nuclear blast which wrecked Amuro's home colony. I bet it could wipe out the
That's
space
worse.
Nazis all
The
on
nuke
its
is
own.
probably worse
It
than
nearly
fire.
did.
Fire
Amuro
fence.
and his Gundam were instrumental to the war effort. It doesn't matter how much the Gundam was burned. It would always stand up, dispel the fear, and fly. All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, let me transform your eating habits.
Fun fact, I actually know most of the Optimus Prime pictures I used during the stills, because I have a lot of pictures of Optimus Prime on my computer for thumbnail purposes. Not for videos, but other stuff. It's for other stuff. I think you might see soon. Everything's telling me that Gundam's better, which usually, recently I've been going against my gut, and I've been getting it right. It happened with Samurai Jack and Afro Samurai. It happened with Ryu vs. Jin. So I'm gonna go with Optimus Prime. Now this one's not. This might be a biased pick, but I'm gonna go for Optimus Prime. Something's telling me Optimus Prime's gonna win, and Gundam's not. Somebody's just telling me this. I actually really feel this. Right, that's bad all the time. I really feel it for some reason. Gundam's, yeah, because they always change the stuff, so they make Gundam sound better. So I think this time's gonna win. It's more than meets the eye. Yeah, Optimus Prime. Let's go, Prime! It's not too fast, you know it. Freaking X27, I think it was. Giant space robots, yeah! And Jax. He thinks he's a Decepticon, he thinks he's a bad Nazi. They're both under. I'm so sad. Nice one, Prime. Oh, now, okay, great. Now he's freaking General Grievous. Except without 2 lightsabers. He's gonna dodge that. Oh my goodness, this is. They didn't really explain how much the Matrix healed, though. I just realized that. I thought it could heal like a lot, but I don't know. Well, now they're gonna crash land on Earth. Man, that involves re-entry. Freaking Gundam can't survive re-entry. They literally just mentioned that. Maybe it's not Earth. Yeah, I realized you hate gravity. Yo, this battle's just so cool. It's still a giant robot fight. What else could you ask for in a death battle? I mean, this battle kind of seems like Gundam's gonna win, though. But that might be still in Prime. Yo, you dodged like Gundam. Very nice, very nice. I forgot he shoot lasers through his arm. I thought it was chest. Oh jeez. That's it. That's it.
He's got the touch!
Now, yeah,
He's
boy.
got the power!
The Gundam was an impressive machine,
That's
and
what
Amuro
that
was a
song
skilled
was.
pilot, but Optimus's millions of years of battle experience completely overshadowed Amuro's 14. Also, we already know that Optimus was over 6 times faster and 9,000 times stronger.
Holy hell! Who knew Optimus was so freaking buff? But the Gundam
Because
has
the
plenty of its
units
own
are messing with
advantages.
me.
With Amuro's super future sense powers, he could keep up with Optimus's speed. And with the Gundam's firepower, who cares how much it could lift?
Unfortunately, the Gundam's limited ammunition meant this couldn't last. And even then, Optimus could certainly survive a shot from the beam rifle.
Remember that refinery explosion Optimus survived? The one you could see from outer space?
This blast left an enormous gash on the
Yeah.
planet Cybertron. To measure the power of this explosion,
It did.
we needed to compare it to the curve of the planet. Now, Cybertron's size is pretty inconsistent throughout G1 Transformers history, but even when using the alternating sizes between the cartoon and the comics, the blast is far more destructive than the beam rifle in both cases.
And Optimus just walked right out of that bitch. And this isn't some weird outlier just out of the comics either. In the cartoon, Megatron survived a blast that pushed Cybertron out of orbit. And he's pretty comparable to Optimus.
To be fair, the Gundam boasted some
Very
impressive
comparable, like,
durability feats
completely
too.
Like when Amuro accidentally blew up a Zaku's nuclear reactor right in his own face. Hey, give him a break. It was his first time.
This explosion created a hole in the space colony which sucked out Amuro's father.
Whoops. On the bright side, he's gonna save some money on Father's Day gifts, right?
And with his heightened mind, we deduced the scope of the explosion.
It's over 150,000 kilotons of TNT. That's 10,000 times more
impressive.
powerful than the bomb that dropped on Hiroshima, but still nowhere close to the refinery explosion Optimus survived.
Also, the Gundam couldn't dodge Optimus'
Facts.
ion blaster forever. It was fast enough to strike targets in orbit from ground level. That puts its laser speed over 3,000,000 miles per hour.
Even when he knew it was coming, Amuro
Three,
couldn't
two,
react
one,
quick
go.
enough to dodge or block anything that fast. And even then, Optimus's time in the Omni-Globe proves he can think way faster than Amuro.
And just to blow your mind even more, in order to obliterate Unicron with the Matrix,
Even
the
more?
energy output must have equaled more than
How much?
40 Yoda-tons of TNT.
Like the Star Wars game. And you know what they say, size matters not, especially when Optimus has defeated opponents as big as Devastator.
The
Devastator.
Gundam was a powerful mobile suit
And, you
with
know,
some astonishing
Unicron.
firepower, but was ultimately outmatched by the Autobot's strength, speed, durability, and experience.
I'd say Optimus was primed for this fight.
The winner is Optimus
Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see the
Boy.
exclusive commentary on this episode, just click that little box over there. And if you want the battle music for yourself,
Alright.
click the link down below and get it off Vikings.
Next fight. So excited. What is this? The first ever what? Live action death battle. What? Is that Daredevil? This Nightwing? Live action death battle. I'm not sure how I feel about that. You know, I need to watch that preview again. Give me a second. Go back 10 seconds, piece of crap. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Being live action and all. It's like I don't know, that was a good death battle. I was really on the fence and who was gonna win. I voted for Optimus. I'm gonna get my winning streak. Excuse me? I'm gonna get my winning streak back, yes. I'm going to the next battle too. Facts, gonna win the next battle. And then I'm gonna win the next battle. And then I'm gonna win the next battle. And then I'm gonna lose the next battle. Alright, no. Yeah, Optimus versus Gundam. That was a giant robot fight. What else would you expect if it was a giant robot fight? Well, what else would you need? Giant robot fight. But yeah, I think that's about it for this video. After I'm done editing this, I think I'm gonna work on my next animation. That sounds about right. Yes. Yes. Quite. Okay, bye.